by Ideal Pharmacy in Lyons, and by Kelly D, your State Farm Insurance agent in Vidalia. Now we take you live to Hardware Pizza for all of tonight's discussion on the Toombs County Bulldogs Coaches Show on Y101.
All right, Dave, thank you so much. Hey, folks, it's Scott Crabb. I've got Eddie Toole here, and I've got head coach of the Toombs County High School Bulldogs, Coach Marsh, is joining us tonight. And what a pleasure, Coach. Great to see you again, and especially in here because we get to eat tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I want to thank the folks here at Hardware Pizza for hosting the Coaches Show every Thursday night this year during the football season. And what a great atmosphere and what a great host they are. Great food, great menu, great environment in here, and quick service, too.
Oh, yeah.
They take care of us. They do. And they'll take care of you, too. They're open until 9 o'clock, and you can phone in your order. You can come in and pick it up if you want. We'd like for you to hang out with us and enjoy your food while we're here and maybe hear some inside information from the head coach of the Bulldogs. And I'll start it off, Coach Marsh, with a big congratulations over the win last Friday night with Vidalia when they came to town. We knew it was going to be a close game, and we were able to squeak out with the win there. Big win in the region as well.
It was. Anytime you win that game for this community is so special. So it was just exciting that the community got a chance to experience that, and the look on our kids' faces, it just does your heart right. So, and then you're right. It's a big win in the region, and got to win those region games if you're going to get to the postseason.
And we're not there yet. You were saying earlier we've got to win one of the next two to get into the playoffs.
We do. Preferably we'd like to win both of them, but we do. We got to win one of the next two because, the tiebreakers. We're in a tiebreaker game this week, and we'll be in a tiebreaker game the following week. So. Just the teams in the region are doing better than they've had in the past. So you got to win out to stay in this thing.
No pressure, though. No pressure.
Right? We like it like that.
Okay. Eddie, Swainsboro, we're going to make the road trip over there Friday night, and they are nothing to sneeze at, undefeated in the region, and they're hosses over there, I'm told.
They are. I knew when they went over and beat Statesboro that they had something going on this year. Coach, I know you've watched them on film. I've gotten to watch a little bit of them, but they're big, they're fast, they're just well coached, and they're just a good unit, offensively and defensively.
They are. I think they're going to be much different than the Swainsboro teams in the past. They're still athletic like they've always been. Even when my first year when Coach Stroud was there, they got the athletes. I think they've had the athletes. They're just so different in the scheme that they're using this year. They're very physical. That's not been, the teams they've had in the past. They line up and spread formations. They run it at you, and they play great defense. And they've always played great defense, but they've relied more on the big play and offensively, and that's not their game this year. So. Which I think makes them a better team. And I think that was clear last week when they beat Jeff Davis. And this will be a tiebreaker game. If we win, it's a three-way tie for first. But the way we've got our tiebreakers set up, Jeff Davis would hold the tiebreaker. And then they obviously are playing for a region championship. So it's going to be a big game for them, big game for us. It could mean a home playoff berth. So, that's the thing is you can't get involved in what ifs. If we do this, if we do that. When you play a region game, you just got to win. Or like you said, if you don't, you'll find yourself sitting at home in the playoffs.
That's right. And every week is pivotal. When you're in a region like we are, there's no easy weeks, and so folks, I've had folks tell me, say, well, it don't really matter what happens from Swainsboro. We'll beat East Lawrence and we'll be in. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
East Lawrence is a good team this year. But the first thing we got to do is go over and play Swainsboro in Swainsboro, which is a tough place to play, and they're a tremendously good team. So offensively, I think they just line it up, try to run it at you. Pretty much, from what little bit I've seen, what you were telling us a little earlier, they're just going to try to run the ball and run it straight down your throat.
They do, and they're doing that well this year. And they're running the quarterback and the tailback, the ones they got running the ball, run it so tough. And that's just, they've changed their style, they've changed their game. Coach Roberts does a really good job every year with them, but we've just been able to, to catch them on this week, and it was a really good game last year. We were able to pull that thing out in the end, but it's like you said, it's our region. Last year was a 5-way tie that we were looking at, right?
Right.
Which the whole state was talking about, and then here's East Lawrence. They've done moved back into the mix with a team that's much better than before. So, they made a statement at the beginning of the year that this was a little SEC as far as the competitiveness of the region teams, and it's here we are, same story, second verse. You got to win, you got to play, and this would lock up a playoff spot for us if we can win this. So it's big, and I get excited about these type games. I just hope that everybody involved gets as excited about it as I do.
All right, well, we'll come back and talk more about Swainsboro and what they plan to do and what we plan to do with those guys in just a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, let me invite you to Hardware Pizza. We're right here in Lyons. You know the place. It's the Old Smith Hardware Building, and it's just a great environment in here. Great food. They have the specials, have the pizza, the calzone, the calzone. They have the calzones. They have great salads, too. One of my favorites is that Cobb salad, and all the drinks you could think of, too. Good service, good people. We'd love to see you in here. They're open till 9. We're live with the Coaches Show from Hardware Pizza in Lyons on Y101.
Are you looking for a unique dining experience? Hardware Pizza in downtown Lyons offers just that. Hardware Pizza's team of chefs takes a proud artistic approach to the food they create, like their delicious handcrafted pizzas. They're always made to order with fresh meats, vegetables, and cheeses. They also offer pasta, calzones, soups, salads, sandwiches, and wings. Come by today and dine with us, located at 131 Southwest Broad Street in downtown Lyons.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Kaylee Dees in Vidalia today.
Life is full of surprises, some good, some not so good. It's why your State Farm agent is there with good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates for everyone. Yep, that's right. At State Farm, you get great service and great rates with every policy, so you can be prepared for all life surprises. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
In a world where the big box stores and corporate giants sit at the edge of our hometowns and take, eating away at our heritage, there is a family-owned and operated professional pharmacy that remains. For over 44 years, Ideal Pharmacy has been there for their community. If you have a cough, an itch, or a scratch, or the doctor writes you a prescription, Ideal Pharmacy is here for you. Call 526-8531. They're located in Lyons. For over 35 years, Thriftway, your Galaxy food store, has been serving the community. It's this area's only family-owned and operated hometown grocery store. Michael Grimes and his staff strive to support their community and give customers service second to none. Also make Thriftway's meat department your first stop when you're looking for fresh USDA certified meat. Their professional meat cutters are always happy to get you the perfect cut of meat. Come in and save throughout the store at Thriftway, your Galaxy food store in Lyons. Now we go live back to Hardware Pizza for the Toombs County High School Football Coaches Show on Y101.
Thank you, Dave. Scott Crafty Tool and head coach of the Toombs County High School Bulldogs, Coach Richie Marsh, is joining us tonight. And Coach Marsh, Coach Roberts over at Swainsboro, I think this is his 5th year over there. Has he been working on this type offense the whole time?
No, Scott. He's just a really good football coach. He was at Cairo when I was at Thomasville. He was a receivers coach there, and they had an excellent staff. Coach Fallah was the head coach there, and that's kind of Scott's protege. It's kind of his mentor, and he just knows how to, take the pieces, take the talent that he has, and put them together. And they started on this earlier in the year, and people were saying that they weren't very good with it, but he's a good football coach, and he knows how to put it together. And they had to make a drive, like a 90-yard drive Friday night to win that game in Jeff Davis, and they in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you know that, but they took the ball, and that's exactly what they did. marched it right on down the field, running the football and went down there and won the game. So he's been around and he knows good football, and he's put the pieces together, and this is what they've ended up with.
Have you ever faced him before?
Oh yeah, he was the coach there. What, the last
4 years?
4 years.
Prior to Swainsboro, I mean.
Well, as an assistant when he was at Cairo, when I was head coach at Thomasville, and they had some really good staffs down there, really, really good staffs, and he was on that staff.
Now, talking about being able to coach, he's took the talent that he has and coached it. He's missing those two big receivers, so naturally, you don't have those targets to throw to. You gotta reevaluate what you can do, and I think he's done a great job to be able to identify these runners and say, okay, we got to back up because we don't have these two targets out there that they had in the years previous.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right, and he did have those two twins, and then before that, he had I think his name was RJ. It was Walden. He was a receiver they had that he threw the ball quite a bit too, and that was when the twins were young. But I think if Scott had his choice, he would throw the ball. He loves coaching the quarterbacks. He was a receivers coach at Cairo, and he loves the passing game. But he's going to do whatever he's got to do to be successful. And this group of kids seem like they've just kind of stayed together with him, and they're football players too now. When you look at them, you can tell their body type's football, and he's just a really good coach. He's got a good defensive staff. He's had a good defensive staff there, and and this ain't their first. This ain't their first time they've been successful this late in the season too. So they're always there in the mix, that. So we're excited. I just hope our kids play them like we've played them in the past.
Right. So let's get into what we did this week. You were telling us maybe the practices weren't exactly what you had wanted, but so let us know kind of what happened during the week. And I know the win Friday night had something to do with getting everybody's head screwed back on straight.
It did. I'm sure that's played a big part of it. And I hope that our kids we've got some kids that have been around, Logan Landrum, Tank Morris, and I think they understand, the situation we're in. We got to go play. We talked about winning to get in. But I think as big as that game is, talking about the Vidalia game for this community, as big as however it turns out, it's going to take some days to get past it, I should say, and to move on to the next game. And our kids have done it the last couple of years, and I don't expect anything different from them this year. We need to do that. We need to be on to Swainsboro, and that's the attitude we took Monday, the attitude we took Tuesday, and it'll be the attitude that we take into the game Friday. So we got. The whole goal is to win in the playoffs.
Exactly.
We talk about it all the time. To be a team. Like, okay, well, we won that game. Well, Thomasville don't know nothing about us winning that game. Early County don't know nothing about us winning that game. Rayburn County don't know nothing about how that game turned out. To be a program that's respected in this state, you got to win in playoffs.
That's right.
And that's what I want this program to be. And I think that's what Coach Benton and Barry Waller want this program to be. And for us to have that type of program, you got to win in the playoffs. And that's what we said from the beginning 6 years ago. We wanted to be a team that wins in the playoffs. And so the goal is still ahead of us. And we just got to keep nailing that down until that happens the way we want it to happen.
Right. So looking at what we're going to be planning on doing offensively, pretty much keep everything moving the same way we've been moving. We've been moving the ball offensively, keeping a good mix.
And we were able to run the ball in the first half last week, and then they made some great halftime adjustments and gave us a fit trying to run the ball in the second half. And I don't think I've done a good job of jumping on that. And We didn't do a good job coaching in the second half, in my opinion. I failed there, and we got to be able to run the ball. We knew that we were hunting a running game. You could watch us. I mean, we were hunting a running game, whether it was a yard and a half that we had on the carry. We knew we got to run the ball to be able to win in the playoffs, and just to be able to win big games. You just can't drop back and throw it every time, and we've been able to get away with that, and they hadn't fared the best for us. We're 4-4. But we're constantly hunting a running game, and we've challenged our kids with that this week. So hopefully this week, and we've had some situations happen to us on the offensive line that hadn't worked well in our favor, but hopefully the 5 that we put out there Friday night, they'll go out there with attitude, and they'll play under some adversity, and hopefully that makes us better. That's the plan.
Yeah. So looking at offensively, I know we still got some injuries there that we won't have some kids out there. So what are we looking like offensively as far as injuries? And I'll just go ahead and ask you, how's Kate?
Well, he's out for the rest of the season. And,
wow. I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
No, I was hoping that way too. But he's got a fractured knee, and Dawson Brantley was a starter for us that we don't have back, and Juju Cutler was starting to play in our receiving core, and he won't be back. And we've had some discipline problems with a couple of our offensive linemen. But but that it is what it is, right? I mean, I've always believed and I really believe this. I know some coaches just say it, but I believe that adversity will cause you to do one or two things. It'll either cause you to to run from the situation or to run to it. And one of our our assistant principal told us that after the Jeff Davis game in the circle at the end.
I remember that.
And our kids gathered the troops and went forward. And that's what we expect to do with our offensive problems that we have this week. That's what we want to do. We want to run to the adversity. And I think if we'll do that, good things can happen for us.
Exactly. So, time to take a break?
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you said cut us out here. I did want to mention one thing on offense. We did a good job at getting folks open when they needed to be open. But Gavin still had the time. He still had the pocket that he was able to step up in. Will the changes that had to be made on the offensive line, is that going to affect his ability to be able to do some of that?
Well, we've struggled to protect the quarterback the whole year. And one of the reasons is because everybody's sending every blitz they got at us because we've struggled to run the ball. And that's not going to change. Everybody's going to continue to do that. We've gotten so much better at picking up some of that stuff as of late. It was a really clean first half for Gavin Friday night, and he was able to complete a couple of those passes. We were able to get some points on the board. Again, I didn't think we did a good job coaching in the second half. That's on me, and they were sending some different pressures, and we, having to play some more kids two ways that we wanted to in the second half due to some injuries, and so that forced our hand there. And but thank God we was able to pull it together in the fourth quarter. And Gavin too. I told Gavin, I said, Gavin, it's going to take one more. I just knew they were getting too close, and they were going to score a touchdown, and they did. I mean, we blew coverage, and they were able. I mean, they scored, and Gavin, he accepted the challenge. And so did the offense. They accepted the challenge, and Gavin was able to give us that touchdown that we knew we were going to need to win it. And then defense was able to hold on. And I wish we wouldn't have put them in that situation late in the game. I wish we was able to run the clock out, and we didn't do that. And but our kids fought, and they've been fighting. And you go back to Jeff Davis after that nasty, ugly 14 minutes of the first half. They scored on the fumble thing, and they scored on a pick six. But our defense only gave up 3 points after that. So, and I keep challenging our defense. I'm like, look, man, we have a chance to be really, 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 really special. One of the best defenses we've had here, and I think they showed signs of that Friday night. That's one of the big things we got to build on. And then special teams, I mean, Jesus Mata was 3 for 3 in extra points, and his kickoffs were really, really, really good, and we were able to cover those kicks. And that's kind of the lost art that people think about. Our special teams have got to get. They made huge progress Friday. We got to make huge progress this Friday. And with some of those injuries, there's going to be kids having to play there too.
Yeah. So the punting team has with Will Putting Friday night did an excellent job. Not saying that Versleuth hadn't been doing a good job, but for whatever reason that mix up and putting Will in there just give us another element to that kicking game.
Yeah, and I just that was something we worked on in the summer too. And special teams are always important to us here. It's like last year. I mean, you'd think we never practiced kickoff return because it just never came together for us. But it's saved our butt many, many times. We've had some really good kickers. We've had some all-state guys here. And you're right, Friday night when that happened, we started shuffling the deck. I mean, we had to change the snapper. We had to change the punter. And those guys picked up on that well. And you're right, Will was able to step in and fill a big void there. So, but he'd been practicing that. We knew that may happen one day. I'm just thankful that we were practicing it. So we'll have a name when we needed it.
When we come back, I want to talk about that run game of Swainsboro and our run defense, if you will, how we're going to match up with those guys. In the meantime, we're live at Hardware Pizza, downtown Lyons, and this is the Old Smith Hardware Building. And folks, if you're headed home, whatever, swing in here and grab a pizza for the family or bring the family up. They're open until 9 o'clock tonight, and you can phone in your orders as well. And again, we thank them for hosting us, Y101, and the coaches during the coaches shows every Thursday night during the football